Creating enduring solutions is as straightforward as avoiding unintended consequences. It essentially boils down to paying attention. The thing, though, is that you need to figure out what it is that you need to pay attention to on an ongoing basis. I think I commented earlier that you don't spend time and prepare the field, plant it, and then go away and come back 4 months later and expect to have a really good harvest. You have to tend the crop on an ongoing basis. It's the same thing that you have to do to have an enduring solution. I mean, the problem became a problem because of what someone wasn't paying attention to. The problem didn't become a problem in an instant. There were a patterns of behavior that evolved over time that were actually providing indications that things were about to become a problem, though since nobody was paying attention, all of a sudden there is a problem, and with a concern about, well, where did this come from? So that once you develop the solution, once you develop the definition of the set of relationships that have to be implemented to have the organization move in the direction of the ideal alternative, what's essential is to figure out which aspects of these relationships one needs to monitor on an ongoing basis to determine if adjustments need to be made. So the organization was growing rapidly, which was creating a resourcing problem. So the idea was to add a requirement for support to hire and train additional resources to have them available for the rest of the organization. That's probably not a fixed amount of additional resources, so that it's an amount of resources in relationship to something else. The typically organizations tend to measure numerous things, though do they actually measure things in relation to other things, which gives a much better indication generally than simply one-dimensional measurements. So the way that the organizational staffing is developing in relation to the revenue of the organization, the way that the resourcing of support is growing in relationship to the growth of the number of customers it has. The idea is that the knowledge base in place and integrating the customers into the support process itself should in fact over time reduce the support requirements, but does it reduce the actual number of support personnel required, or does it simply reduce the number of support personnel required relative to the number of customers that are being supported? There's a difference, and I contend that the latter is more appropriate. So you have to go through the structure that's been created and identify those things that it's appropriate to monitor into the future, so that you track a set of patterns of behavior to give you guidance as to how things are evolving so that you can adjust along the way. So you create an enduring solution the same way that you have a good harvest in a garden. You have to tend the relationships and ensure that things are moving in an appropriate direction, and you adjust along the way. It's not simply implement it and leave it, because if you do, be assured that a problem will arise in the future. Difficult to identify specifically from where, though you can be certain because of all of the changes in the context in which this solution exists. The problems will arise. So tend the garden and the crop will be much better. Hope you found this informative, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.